A federal agency the other day had on Tuesday had put out that 13 senior Trump administration officials violated the Hatch Act, a 1939 law that seeks to keep government functions nonpartisan. The office of the Office of Special Counsel, an independent agency tasked with enforcing the law, said in the report that 11 of those officials allegedly violated the Hatch Act by campaigning on behalf of the former squatter Donald Trump's re-election during 18 official interviews of the media appearances, and 2 of them committed violations related to the 2020 Republican National Convention. The agency's report represents its latest finding of wrongdoing by members of the Trump administration acting in their official capacity, with at least one former official White House aide, Smelly Khanjab, having violated the act so much during her government employment that the agency recommended in 2019 that she be removed from federal service for being a repeat offender. And Khanjab is among the 13 officials named in Tuesday's report. But what exactly is the Hatch Act and are the newly detailed violations out of the norm? Now, what does the Hatch Act law do? Now, if you're not familiar with it, we're going to give a breakdown. The Office of Special Counsel, not to be confused with the long-concluded Justice Department Special Counsel investigation that was led by Robert Mueller, is a unique government body charged with enforcing a handful of rules, which includes the Hatch Act. Now, the law is supposed to stop the federal government from affecting elections or going about its activities in a partisan manner. According to the OSC's explanation of the rule, it applies to federal employees as well as state and local employees who work with federally funded programs. The rule is a workplace guideline, and violating it is not a crime, but responses can vary significantly after employers violate the rule, from a slap on the wrist to the loss of their job. The OSC has its own guidelines for those covered by the Hatch Act to avoid violations, and more recently it posted specific guidelines for social media. Some federal entities, like the Justice Department, have their own guidelines on wrongful political speech that go beyond the broad outlines of the Hatch Act. Now, complaints are somewhat routine, and the debate over high-profile violations can be sharp, with interest groups and legal experts regularly weighing in and accusing the government officials of violations. The former FBI Director James Comey was at the center of the heated Hatch Act debate in the final days of the 2016 campaign. His decision to update Congress on the status of the Hillary Clinton email investigation received widespread criticism, although Comey was not ultimately found in violation. But while the debate over Comey's actions in cases at Khanjab's received the lion's share of attention, the act is a routine boundary for rank-and-file government employees who must follow specific protocols to keep political beliefs from being perceived to affect the performance of the government. Now, in March of 2018, the OSC, citing the Hatch Act, told employees to leave their Make America Hate Again hats at home after Trump began officially running for re-election. But who has violated the Hatch Act? Almost everybody in Trump's administration did. The 11 former senior officials who allegedly committed media-related violations are Khanjab, the Trump senior advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, Energy Secretary Dan Braylap, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, White House Advisor the white supremacist Stephen Miller, White House Deputy Press Secretary Brian Morgenstern, or whatever the fuck his name is, the Vice Squatter Mike Pence's Chief of Staff Mark Short, the White House Communications Director Alyssa Farah, and U.S. Ambassador to Israel David Friedman. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was found in violation of the Hatch Act when he addressed the 2020 Republican Convention in a pre-recorded video, a move where he used his official authority while giving that speech to promote the squatter Trump's candidacy, according to the report. The agency said that the former acting Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf's violation stemmed from naturalization ceremony that aired during the Republican National Convention, where he issued an oath to 5 people. He previously said that he was unaware that the footage of the ceremony would be aired during the convention, yet bullshit. And the OSC also said in the report that he told the agency he had no knowledge that it would be played at the convention, yet bullshit. But the 13 officials that were named in Tuesday's report are far from the first people in high-profile roles that to violate the Hatch Act. In 2017, the White House social media director Dan Scavino, fucking asshole, and then U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley, both received official warnings or tweets that the OSC said they broke the rules. Likewise, 2 Obama administration cabinet heads had faced the Hatch Act reprimands. but the OSC had cited the Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius for political comments in 2012, and Sebelius said afterward that she regretted her comments but took issue with the degree of the OSC's response. The Obama-era Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro had tried to avoid violating the law during a 2016 interview by saying he was taken off of his HUD hat, for a second and just speaking individually before boosting Clinton, and that didn't work. In a statement announcing Castro had violated the Hatch Act, the OSC noted that he was there in his official capacity and had the department seal behind him. But more recently, the OSC said in May that Secretary of Housing and Urban Development person Marcia Fudge had violated the Hatch Act when she commented on Ohio politics from the White House podium earlier this year. Last month, the watchdog group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington filed a Hatch Act complaint against the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, alleging that she appeared to have endorsed Terry McAuliffe for the Virginia governor's race during a White House press briefing. Psaki had told a news organization the following the complaint that she'll be a lot more careful with her words next time, adding that words certainly do matter. If you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when the new video comes out, and thanks for listening.